Well, hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever, where today we're going to be casting a 2v2 on the map 2v2 Sandbox. And without a further ado, let's just go ahead and get into introducing our players. Up in the top left is going to be one, and we're going to start with the White Seraphim by the name of SpareCat6 going first land. 1 second, I need to move something out of my way. And then to his northeast, we have a blue UEF by the name of Samus759. Then down to the bottom right to introduce the Team 2 players, we're going to go ahead and go over to the red Cybran by the name of Twisty Sauce is what I'm going to go with. It's weirdly spelled, but we're going with Twisty Sauce. And Mickey Borg, a dark green a dark green Aeon going first land. Also, the red Cybran over here went first land, and now we can get into the game. Everybody going first land. So yeah, this map is a little bit interesting. I've played it a few times. I really like this map. I really like 2v2s. Like, I've just noticed, I've been playing a few myself. 2v2s are very fun. They're very competitive, and they don't take too massively long generally. And when they do go long, it's usually really interesting. But on this map, you can see the way the reclaim works out is there's just tiny little pockets with a whole bunch of reclaim in them each. And you just kind of send in a engineer or your comm over to those. You reclaim all of them, all these tiny little rocks, and that's how that works. Aeon and Seraphim have a huge advantage on this map, considering the amount of just hover spam you can get with this water. I don't quite know why on some maps the water doesn't look like water unless you're zoomed out, but yeah. Then you have these areas that are going around the outside on each side of the map. These are kind of just massive flank opportunities. You can also get a few mass extractors, and the main way of attack is right through here in the middle. There's no water. You can send as many land units as you want to get over to your opponent's base. And we're going to see how these players decide to get on with their match. And right off the bat, we can see a little bit of unit spam coming out from all of these players, and it looks like both of the comms of Team 2 are coming to the middle. In the chat, we can see, you see the mass. I take it they're going for these mass points. Yes, both comms are heading to the mass points. They're going to try and get the reclaim and then build a mechs. Well, this one's just going to get the reclaim. And of course, generally you want to get out and engineer really early over here, send maybe a tank or a mantis or whatever with it. Keep it safe, keep it protected as you expand and try and get hold of these mass extractors on the flanks. And we can see both of the comms reaching their respective mass points. We do have tanks and scouts out for pretty much everybody. There's a nice number of mech marines over here, 3 mech marines and a land scout, one of those snoops coming out over here to try and just keep any engineers from expanding to the top right out from Samus759. We see a huge power grid being spammed up over here for Mickey Borg, and he is probably, I guess, going to go air with that. That's perfectly spaced for an air factory to fit in the middle of this. Get all of that adjacency with the power gens and the hydrocarbon. You see 2 factories put out relatively quickly and a lot of power being spammed out for SpareCat6. Does he need that power? He does. He is currently stalling as he also starts to build some land factories down at the front. We can see Samus759 getting out quite a number of land factories, just spamming them up, trying to get that spam going on. Whereas on the other side, we only see really Twisty Sauce going for the mass spam strat. He's getting a lot of factories up, whereas his allies seemingly focusing on eco, getting multiple T2 mechs all at once. I'm sure that's stalling him, though. Yep, stalling at negative 65 mass a second. When they all come up, he will have a little bit of an advantage. I don't think anybody else is quite rushing T2 mechs as hard as him. He has 4 upgrading at the moment, and the most I see here is 1, and then 1 paused. gun speed and range starting over onto the comm of Twisty Sauce, and we see a Selin firing into this mass extractor. It looks like it's probably going to get it, and yes, or no, it does not. The comm does manage to get back over here in time and then go back to reclaim orders. Team 2 making a heavier play for the center area, whereas Team 1 has decided to consolidate their power, get more spam up faster with both of their bases producing more units at the moment. So we'll have to see how that plays out. We do see a lot of factories coming online, of course, for Twisty Sauce, but he has about 4 at the moment versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Samus, and 1, 2, 3, 4 for Spare Cat 6, whereas there's only 1 land factory, and it's not even really spamming out units out for Mickey Borg, but he does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 T2 mexes now, and he's probably going to get another one right over here. So he has a lot of eco, and whenever we go to look at the reclaim right now, we can see that the reclaim has Mickey Borg in the lead at 5.5k, 3.3k for Spare Cat 6, 1.2k and 1.6k for Samus and Twisty Sauce respectively. And then as we look at the total mass generation, we can see Mickey Borg in a sizable lead at 40 mass a second. He doesn't really have the ability to spend that currently, so I'd like to see him get up some kind of tech, maybe even on the comm. And Twisty Sauce is sitting at 19, whereas Samus is at 25, and we have 27 for Spare Cat 6, so relatively even. The match does not seem to be balanced particularly well. We are sitting at 90% or at 54% out of 100%. I don't normally cast games that are very low quality balance, but this game is just so amazing and has so many neat little plays. And there's been a Control K of Spare Cat 6, and it looks like there was a disconnect. So it has officially gone from a 1v1, 2v2 to a 1v1, and there's a massive rating disparage here. There's a disparage difference. There's a huge difference in the rating. There's a inequality of the rating of these players, but we will have to see how Samus tries to get himself reestablished here. This is the prime time for units out from specifically Twisty Sauce, but either player to come around this flank and just start hammering the base of Samus. And with this massive economy play, of course there's no way he could have known that there would have been a disconnect, but with this huge economy play, that puts Mickey Borg in an exceptionally strong position. He just needs to start getting that eco up to do something aggressive. He doesn't have any kind of unit production currently. He is getting some T1 lane factories built up over here, but that is not going to be quite enough. We can see these 6 factories out from Samus just constantly pumping out units. How is he doing economically? He's currently sitting at... He's getting a lot of reclaim from his allies' base, and as long as he gets up these mass extractors, gets a few of them to T2, he could very possibly come back into the lead economically, but for now he is hemorrhaging mass to his counterparts. Mickey Borg now at 9,000 reclaim, just constantly finding reclaim around the map with his units. And he has... Where is his comm gone? His comm is now pushing over here into the water, maybe going to try and get up over here and do a little bit of a flanking maneuver, whereas we can see the comm and a few units out from Twisty Sauce are making their way over to the middle. Going to swap that back to the economic output view for mass. And we can see the comm of Twisty Sauce, which, do remember, has gun upgrade currently, is going to come into range of these T1 spam units, and we can see Samus has stopped building power gens and he's going to move his comm forward. He does have a spam advantage, but gun comm is very good at dealing with spam, and Twisty Sauce is now all alone in the midst of an enemy comm and a lot of spam. We'll have to see if he can either get out or possibly find a way to get some veterancy up, try and simply just kill off all of this spam before he ends up dying. He's not going to be getting any reinforcements out from Mickey Borg, as Mickey Borg has not really built anything to reinforce him with. He's just now getting some T1 production down here. We can see the comm of Twisty Sauce is now falling about halfway down on his hit points, down to 6,500. as he continues to just kill off spam, but there's just always more spam. These 6 factories pumping out at max efficiency. He's not stalling. His economy is very well balanced, so Samus is going to be doing very well. As we see some Mantis come in to try and reinforce, just a wall of Mantis starting to approach the comms as they duel it out. Twisty Sauce is so low on health now that I think that Samus could definitely kill him off, but there's always the question of how well that works. And while all of this is going on, a NG drop with some units has been placed into the base of Samus, indeed the former base of Sparecat 6, and it's now built a few factories. It's spamming out Mantis. It's going to be a very dangerous thing. If Twisty Sauce manages to survive here, then he will undoubtedly have a massive advantage in this match. It's down to relatively even health on the comm, only 1,000 health separating the two comms' total health pools, as we see these units from this drop into the main base just plowing in here, going to be causing tons of issues for the economy and the buildup of units over here for Samus 759. Now he is pretty much locked into a situation where he needs to kill off the comm of Twisty Sauce. We'll have to see how that goes. All of these units are coming in to attack Twisty Sauce, but I'm not sure, is he going to be able to get to the water in time? He is running to the water as Mantis and the base continue to plow through power gens and various things. We can see the comm of Twisty Sauce is getting dangerously low, and he's going to die, and that is the first ejection for Team 2. This has turned in to a 1v1. Of course, though, this has caused enough damage to put Samus still massively behind despite that scalp. And now we are currently in a situation where it is 71 mass per second versus 45. That's nearly doubling the mass output from Samus. So we do need to see what Mickey Borg is going to do now. He's already queuing up orders to take over his allies' base. He just has these 4 land factories and this air factory, which is currently upgrading to T2. And earlier I saw a T2 upgrade on the way for land for Samus. So both players working on getting T2. And in the chat we can see a little bit of salt coming in. And you know what I love? There's a reason that my Discord server is called the Salt Mine. I love looking at salt, so we'll have to keep an eye on chat. If there's some tasty, delicious salt, we must mine it. We must get it. Why are you playing like you are the Eco slot on Gap? What are you doing? Attack! Oh man, Twisty Sauce very upset with the turn of plays, but he did kill himself. I do have to point that out. This was optional. He had this in his base. He knew he got the drop off. All he had to do reasonably was just keep enough pressure to stop Samus from just sending all of his units back into his base, or just use it as a temporary distraction. He decided to move his comm forward when it was on half health. It was his choice. Attack, do something. No, I die if I attack. Okay. So now Twisty is going to sit here and backseat game and be very upset, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. Oh yes, the hatred is strong with this one. Let the hatred flow through you, Twisty. We do have a bunch of T1 bombers coming out from Samus, and there's not a huge amount of air coverage as he's just going straight to T3. It looks like he's just building engineers. He doesn't have any air to protect all of this, so it does look like these bombers could possibly land on this power grid, send Mickey Borg into a spiral of power loss. He's already on the edge of stalling power, so if these take out a few power gens, it's going to be painful, especially with him starting a T2 power gen. That would be bad. These bombers should just drop directly on here. These little areas, these little groups, these batteries of power gens, I would be throwing those bombers at that. That's prime real estate. Where are they going? Can I click on you and find out? Oh, also I can I not track? I can't. Okay. It does look like all of these. Oh, they're going for the factory. No, this is the wrong plan. You got the wrong plans, my friend. He's building a flak very quickly. He did manage to kill off some of the power gens, but this is what I would just go for the power gens before the air factory. You could cripple him. Oh, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to kill it off. There's not enough bombers. And while this is happening, we can see a push coming out from Mickey Borg into the spam of Samus. And these spammed out units from Samus aren't going to do very much. We have a bunch of T2 factories finishing in damage and range on the way. And while all of these bombs are falling, they killed off a few power gens, but I don't think that sent Mickey Borg into a spiral. He managed to pause something, get his power under control. I would have gone for the power gens, but honestly, he came really close, and I see why he did what he did. That was still a good play. That was still abusing the fact that there wasn't any air defense, any interceptors out, no ASF, no nothing like that. He saw an opportunity. He went for it. He killed off some T2 engineers, set back the T2 power that was building, forced his opponent to build a flak that he probably didn't want to build. Let's go ahead and get caught up on the salt. Stop typing. Stop typing, Twisty Sauce. Damn you. Alright, do something, attack. No, I die if I attack. I don't know why you have all that eco and no tech. My partner only plays Gap or something. Must be, lol. I didn't realize I would have to throw myself away. I didn't realize I wouldn't have thrown myself away. Can you at least build a radar? Come on, dude. How are you 1100? Shut up. Oh my god, I love this. This is beautiful. 1 second, can I make this bigger? Can I embiggen this? Oh yes, this is all we need in our life. This beautiful display of salt. Oh yeah. Really, it does just let you use the entire screen as a chat, doesn't it? I can't even scroll in or out because I'm on the chat, so I just think I'm trying to scroll the chat. Oh god. Oh no, how do I fix this? Reset chat window. Oh Jesus, that is small. Okay, we're gonna make it bigger, but not that big. Oh god, that's beautiful. Oh jeez. Jeez Louise. Okay, so let's just go ahead and check on the economies. Reclaim 10,000 for Samus versus 14,000 for Mickey Borg. Mass generation, Mickey Borg now actually doubling. He's not able to spend it, but he is still actually doubling his opponent's mass income. He's managing to spend it now. I think he's probably going to have to go T3 Air factory and then do something else. Samus sitting at 71 mass a second, but he is producing units, which is generally good for winning a game. If you don't have units, you have no chance of winning a game. It's literally, you could do a challenge series where it's like, can I win like 50 FAF games? Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. There's a new series coming to the channel, everybody. My goal is to win 50 FAF games using only structures and ACU. It's gonna be fucking impossible, but it'll be funny. I'm not good enough to do it, but I'll try. Alright, so we can see units pouring out of the base of Samus. There is an absolute wall of T1 units out from, let's just check the numbers, 144 Auroras and 29 Fervors. So that is a very formidable force. I would like to see these pillars kind of group up. There are a lot of pillars here. If they all just come in as a brick, they would be fine. But if they don't, I'm not sure. The Gatling bots, the mongoose over here, will help out a lot. Let's see. Shut up. Oh, are your feelings getting hurt? Damn, Twisty! You should grow up and take good advice, lol. You definitely need T2 gens without any T2 army to defend. No air units, building power for what? Why won't you build radar? Pure stubborn. He's ecoing and building T1. You should attack. Okay. Leave idiot. 4 T2 pigeons and not a single T2 unit must be rushing and experimental. And while all of that's happening, Samus has gotten damage and range, and now he's getting shield on the comm. He also already has T2, possibly T3 on the comm. Let's just go ahead and double check on that. He has T2 on the comm. And over here in Mickey Borg's base, we can see he's gotten to T3, and he's building a bunch of T3 land units, and I mean T3 engineers. Looks like that's what his plan is as of the moment. Build power is important. And we can see a drop over here of a mongoose and a pillar. That's probably going to kill off a... It's going to kill off an anti-air and a mass extractor. Whereas the units over here, these pillars rushing in, are just getting bombarded with Aurora fire and fervor fire. And this is going to be very dangerous. It's going to be bad. He doesn't have enough. I mean, he's going to kill off so many T1 units, but... This just creates a reclaim field, and I don't think he has the units to fully punch through here. T1 units, while they're weak, if they're just standing there in line, and especially if they're an Aurora being attacked, they have so much range, they do still do damage, and they are still formidable in massive numbers when just absolutely bunched up into a brick. You see more units, T2 units constantly pouring out of those T2 factories. I don't think he has enough T1 units to keep on attacking here, but he can shoo this attack away. If all of these units end up dying, and he still has enough T2 army left over, he can push into this. Because even this full production over here is not going to be fast enough to deal with the fact that he has 6 factories producing T2 units versus 8 factories producing T1. I'd rather have 6 T2 units than 8 T1 units any day of the week. It doesn't actually work out to that. It's like 6 versus 10 or something. T1 units, of course, building faster. And we do have a T3 power built over here, a quantum reactor. A lot of T3 engineers coming up, and Mickey Borg is about to crest 200 mass a second. Still not quite spending it too well. He's wasting some mass, I'm pretty sure of it. And he's about to be wasting mass again. He's brought his comm over here to deal with those tanks in that transport. And Samus, on the other hand, sitting at 83 mass a second. What is he doing? What's his plan? You can see, of course, a lot of adjacency going on in his base. Very good. We have more T2 land factories going up. He's just going to keep on trying to spam T2 land, which honestly is a good idea if you know your opponent doesn't have T2 land. He does know that they have T3 air, though. Like, that is a known now. If you're ever playing and you haven't played before and you don't know a lot, if you see this happen or this happen, that means that structure is upgraded if it goes dark. And you have to rescout it to see that it's upgraded. But he does know that it's upgraded to T3 if he knows that little tidbit of information. And up here we can see a factory has been built. He's using these air transports quite well. He's going to be able to kill off these few T1 mass extractors, but in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really hurt Mickey Borg very much. Another brick of T1 units, but this time they're not staying as a brick, they're moving into the pillars, and that actually kind of helps out the pillars just a little bit. Positioning wise, he could have just stayed in a brick and been fine. As long as he moves forward when the mongoose get in range, he's fine. But the mongoose and pillars over here are starting to cause large amounts of damage, and this giant ball of T1 units is slowly being chiseled away at. It'd be amazing right now to get up some Titans. He's still on T2 land. I keep on expecting him to go to T3. And we have a Galactic Colossus just now starting in the base of Mickey Borg as these T2 units are starting to fizzle out just a little bit. Massive reclaim field over here. A nasty amount of reclaim right in front of the base of Mickey Borg. Too bad he is... Well, now he could definitely use it. Definitely just get one of these factories to attack, move, and build engineers. And we can see these units are slowly fizzling out. He's running out of T1 units. And more T2 units constantly on the way, constantly making their way here. Let's go ahead and check the salt because it's restarted. It's just you, T1. In the future, use your Gatling bots to harass T1 army. You lost a lot of heavy tanks to spam. Now you're criticizing the guy you're trying to help. I don't know if that's criticism. That's actually good advice. But At the same time, if you harass with gathering bots and he moves towards your army, you kind of just have to stand and fight. Trying to run away, most T1 units are faster. I don't know if Auroras are faster than Pillars, and I don't know the easy way to check that. He is still building the Galactic Colossus, which is halfway done. And that is dangerous. Galactic Colossus is cresting 60,000 HP out of its 999,999. And that's going to be done momentarily. One second. My game speed was all messed up. Let's go ahead and see. We do have these units, of course, yet again pushing in. These T2 units are starting to grow in numbers still, and the amount of T1 units are just falling to the wayside. Of course, there is a GC now done, though, and these T2 units will never hold up to a GC. And we're going to have to see what Samus decides to do as he scouts that GC. I'm assuming he's going to. It's done. Rushed it. Okay, then. So the GC is finished, and it is going to be pushing in towards the base of Samus, presumably. It's going to be first dealing with T2 spam. But I have a feeling that these units should probably start falling back now. As the engineers come up to start building a fire base, and this GC has managed to get quite a little bit done. We do have more units coming over here on a transport, now at T2 transports. And T3 is now on the way and getting assisted by a bunch of T2 engineers. That won't take long to finish, but the question is, how many Percivals can he get out? Can he get out enough Percivals to kill off this GC, or can he get out enough T3 engineers to possibly just kill off to build Ravagers to kill off the GC? That is his options, as far as I would think. But who knows? Who knows? Mickey Borg over here, sitting underneath his base. He's not building another GC. He is building a Oblivion field over here. He's just trying to be very defensive. And he's not attacking with the GC, which is giving more and more time over to Samus to just build up. He's going to get T3 done in time. This GC could have already made its way across the map. Almost 2 times over. He could already be in the main base of Samus pretty much twice at this point. But instead, I think he's waiting for enough T1 spam to build up so that his GC has something to go along with it. But I don't know if that's the right call. We'll have to see how it plays out, of course. We have T2 units being transported all around the map. Left, right, and center. We do see some ASFs coming online, but they're just kind of parked in the base doing very little. And map control has kind of just been ceded over to Samus. Samus at this point could safely just go out and build a bunch of mexes. What is this game? What the fuck is this? The players in the game very confused by Mickey Borg's decisions, and honestly myself, I'm a little bit confused. I know I'm only a 1,000 rated pleb, but it's a little strange to build a GC when you know your opponent is at the T2 phase of his game and not just immediately attack. T2 units take an absurd amount of them to kill off a GC. It is an absolutely absurd amount. A GC can sit there and kill off T2 units all day long. We do have a drop into the main base of some pillars over here on the right hand side. Some Oblivions thrown up to deal with it, but that's going to kill off a Mex. And as we go ahead and check on Reclaim, this is the last time I'm doing it. It's 21,000 from Mickey Borg, who still hasn't even really worked on getting this Reclaim field. And 11,000 for Samus, 121 mass a second for Samus, and 272 for Mickey Borg. Mickey Borg has every tool at his disposal to win this. He's now queuing up a Czar. No, I'm enjoying the fuckery. Leave idiot. He's gone hard eco all game. T3 Mexes, RAS, etc. I can see that you only play eco slot and gap though, seeing as it's literally your only move all game. And the GC is now finally pushing towards the enemy, but he's not even waiting for his T1 spam. Why? Why now? You've been scouting, haven't you? You know he has T3 land. You don't know how many Percivals he may or may not have. But all of the units of Samus are coming over here to this staging area for transports, and it looks like he's going to be throwing a bunch of units onto transports. He's constantly producing more. Looks like he's even assisting the production with his T2 engineers, and we're seeing more and more units being loaded onto T2 transports. Is he going to go for a comm drop? I mean, of course he is. He's on a transport, but he's going to do a comm drop with maximum support possible, which is very interesting. At base under shield. That is actual BM. I know that he probably doesn't want his ally to win after this, but telling them where the comm is that is sus. I don't know if that's against the rules, but it feels like it should be, doesn't it? That's definitely some griefing going on. Not that, I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't be an issue. He has some PD. He has the capabilities to defend this. We, of course, do see the GC finally reaching the base. And as that happens, we see another transport getting over here. It's going to load up. He needs to move soon. He needs to move before this is scouted. We do have a Percival over here. Do we have any Percies? We have 2 Percies on one of these transports. The rest of them seemingly carrying T2 units. Gave him too much time to execute his master plan. It's not over until the fat lady sings, Twisty. We'll have to see how this comm drop goes. It's the last option for Samus, as his base is going to be forfeit in a matter of minutes. Not even, in the matter of maybe 2 minutes. So a couple of minutes, this base will be dead. And he moves out. Oh my gosh. V. I want to see this in a cinematic shot, because we don't need to actually see what the GC is doing on the other side. It's killing the base, I can assure you of that. Don't worry about that little tidbit, as we see many transports coming to land over here. We're seeing a few units die on the transports, but very importantly, most of the units do get dropped off. And oh my word, we have to see how this goes. The units are now pushing towards the comm of Mickey Borg. Samus throwing everything he's got into this. I'm sure he's not even looking at his base. He has his comm moving forward with that shield upgrade and the gun upgrade. We do see Percivals firing into the comm. Oh, is the comm gonna survive? There is a Tsar that's just finished. And it's going to be targeting the comm of Samus. But the comm of Mickey Borg dies first. And if this were to go on for long enough, the comm of Samus could also die. I don't know if that counts as a draw, though. Oh, is it gonna die? No, it doesn't. And that is the end of the game. Thank you all very much for watching. We will come over here really quick and look. You can see the GC killed off the base. Hey. And with that, thank you all for watching. Have a beautiful day. Thank you to my patron, Timothy Calderwood, and I will see you in the next cast. I'm casting about 2 to 3 games tonight, so we're going to have some casts coming up. I'm going to try and get them out very quickly for you all, and yeah, I love you all. Goodbye.